You only live once, you know. Hey, maybe that's Ayiuk's stance here.
Hello, it is time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this.
What's good, faithful? Corey Davis, 49er Wednesday. Oh, it looks like Sponge is back.
All right.
Spongy's back. There he is, right there. He's got that Eagles Wi-Fi. You know. So. And what is this? Oh. Searching for a third team that will offer wide receiver.
I doubt that.
Well, it's like, I don't know. I mean, that's speculation, though. And right now, all I know is multiple teams are involved, but that's speculation. Right now, the Browns have something in place. Oh, there's Don. Don. What's good, Don?
Hello.
Well done.
But yeah, right now the Browns have a trade package in place that the Niners agree on. That's pretty much all we know at an absolute info right now.
The Browns are out of it last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was the Patriots that were out of it.
Yeah, because they really turned down 32 mil.
if dude, did he really turn down 32 mil though? I mean,
he turned down market deal value though.
Something more to that contract that we don't know.
Maybe more than market value.
Well, ultimately, now we'll talk about how much we're sick of talking about it here in a minute. Okay? That's definitely coming up. And folks, if you're watching the replay, leave it in the comments. Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how sick of you are. 10 being most sick of it. Okay. But
or square-rooted to amplify.
So it's like 32 million. Now this is 32 plus. That's top 5 wide receiver money. And you know, Ayiuk did have a good year last year. Yes, if you give him more targets, he probably could be in that talk. But you know, if he's serious about wanting to be traded, why didn't he accept that 32 million? Right?
Right.
It's like, I don't know, you know, and today, you know, I've heard this from multiple people, so I'm assuming it's true. Bebop. But so I'm assuming it's true. But today I was told that he walked off the field without actually saying a word to anybody, like ignoring everyone.
Oh wow!
Friends,
I heard that.
It's what? I've heard multiple reports that he did that. So obviously he's upset about something.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, if the Niners wanted to trade him to his rights to the Carolina Panthers, they could. But the team that he's being traded to is going to want him to agree to an extension. And if he's asking north of 32 million, I could see why our 49ers aren't wanting to retain him. Because that's best player on offense, pretty much almost best money on the team. Well, there's one guy that makes more than that. And I mean, I look at it like if he's you know, being this way about his first contract, 2 years down the road, when the wide receiver market resets and goes up, is he going to hold out and want more money?
I think that's another thing.
Similar to what Trent Williams is currently doing, folks. Trent Williams
right.
is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just one of those things.
With Trent,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how sick of you are, and you can elaborate as we go. We're gonna go, wrong way. We're gonna go across this way, across that way, and then down. So, John Jay, how sick of you are hearing about this?
Well, I haven't been able to do anything the last couple of weeks. I have been very busy, and so I've been focusing on things outside of YouTube. The Brandon Ayiuk situation, yeah, it's annoying now. Like if you don't want to be here, and I don't know if it was last week, he's like, I want to trade, and the Niners haven't traded you yet. First of all, it means how important you are to the team, and if they just want to let you go, they would have just let you go. And the teams who want them. And I've joked around like this with a lot of the players that have been free and entering their contract year. If a team wants them, you better shell out, a lot of draft picks because it's not going to come cheap. And the Niners, so far, they've been able to retain a lot of their players. And if he doesn't want to be here, he doesn't want to be here. Like, you can't stop him. But the Niners, like if they offered him, like if that number is true, $32 million, and he said no, thank you to the Patriots. What's the money? What does he want? Because that does not just come out, and a team who wanted him, so there has to be something. And then if he walked off the field, is that relationship over? So yeah, it's annoying, and the Niners need to figure it out because the season is about to start. Preseason, one game is around the corner, and next month is the start of the season. So they got to figure this out now because if it lingers off during the season, then it's going to be a big problem. So yeah, it's just annoying right now.
I have to agree with that. So, but before we're going to actually ask even though you're not a 49er fan, YTC, we're still going to ask you, but we're going to say hi to the chat. We got Bebop. What's good, buddy? We got
Bebop.
We got the most faithful of faithful, Jim Everett the Great. He's in every 49er chat. David Corona is actually doing good. He is at home right now, Jim. So at home recovering. We got Papa J making a good point here. The only thing good about this whole Brandon situation, that all the Brock hate seems to have calmed down a little. Yep, they're all focused on something else. That's 100% true. And we got Tommy with his typical hello.
Shout out Tommy. He's a goofball.
Danny Sports Highlights. He does all sports on his channel. He's a cool Rams fan. Should check him out.
Horrible picture.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Got CarCast, which you did send him the link, right, Spongy?
Yep.
Oh, Spongy is the YouTube ghost on my end. I don't know if he's the actual YouTube ghost.
Oh, Spongy's a ghost?
Oh, we lost someone. Who did we lose?
Melissa.
Oh yes, I just noticed.
She's got the East Coast bias Wi-Fi.
I'm still here. I just turned off my camera for 2 seconds.
We lost Spongy. We lost Spongy. We didn't lose Melissa.
No, Spongy's below you. Spongy's there. No, he's there. There he is.
There? Well, what the heck happened?
East Philly Wi-Fi.
Now he's gone.
Well, no, now he's gone. Now he's there. Okay.
There.
East Philly / South Jersey Wi-Fi.
There he is. But so we got CarCast, under the helmet. We got Dawn. She's in the panel, folks. How's it going? Who else? Let's see. Anyone else new? Nope. But so what? YTC? Let's go to you, buddy. Like,
yep.
How sick are you hearing about this? Not even.
I'm mostly sick.
Man, but
Well, I'm mostly sick because a bunch of Commander fans have been spamming my timelines thinking they're going to get him and torch us if they get him. I'm glad they're out of the runnings. That's what I'm sick of.
Yeah. I don't think the Commanders were offering much, and then maybe they did talk to Ayiuk about after the Niners gave him his agent permission to talk extensions with other teams. Maybe he did talk to them, and they were like, "You want what? No,
we're rebuilding. They're in the position that we're in, rebuilding. Yeah, they're rebuilding with Jaden Daniels around. So yeah, they're not in a position to for any luxury positions."
All right. We're gonna go on down to Dawn. Dawn, how sick are you hearing about this?
I'm absolutely fed up with it. I mean, I don't remember what number I heard that he wanted, but it was ridiculous. It was like a big amount. I'm like, just figure out what you're going to do. Either you're going to stay or you're going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of feel like, I'll get into that in just a minute. Melissa,
Yes.
What's your take on it? How sick of you are? How sick of it are you?
I mean, I think this kind of proves what I've been saying for a couple months now. I don't think it's about the yearly salary with Ayiuk. I really think it's coming down to bonuses and guarantee money and all the other minutia that we don't really talk about, but we all know it's about.
Yep.
I don't think it's a good look that he walked out, but I'm not surprised. Ayiuk has a lot of hurt feelings when it comes to Kyle Shanahan, and from what I've heard, because I didn't watch it, and it's totally my bad if I got this wrong, but from what I've heard, Kyle Shanahan kind of threw him over the rake on one of his presses recently about this whole contract situation. And after he's been in the doghouse, now after he's been attacked by the fans, the media, and all the like for what he dealt with in his beginning of his career, I'm not saying what happened is okay, but I understand it from the point of this is not the first time that him and Shanahan have butt heads. So if Shanahan called out Ayiuk, it kind of makes sense why he would walk out. I wish every offseason we didn't have one of these or multiple of these where we had to worry about when's this guy going to be signed? Is it going to be done? Are we screwing our team by keeping one guy over multiple guys? And I hate that there's so many people that we have to pay top dollar, and then everybody else who's healthy or who has been here and grinded and is barely making like $1 million for the team has to just suck it up buttercup and be like, oh, well, I should be grateful because the Niners want me. Like, I don't think it's fair that the stars demand everything and then everybody else has to just suck up everything else. I don't think that this is doable for Debo and Brandon to be both highly paid. I mean, people called out the Jawan Jennings signing, like that was going to hurt the Brandon Ayiuk signing. Like, Jawan's barely making anything, and he's barely signed past 2 years. Like, that's the first time ever in his career. I'm not going to take shots. I know who I would prefer to be on this team out of Brandon and Debo. I'm sure some of you kind of figured it out, but I hope it gets resolved. I hope it doesn't distract from the team. I hope it doesn't hurt the team in the long run. But at the end of the day, you can't say you're for players' rights and players getting paid and then still say you're sick of it. I think that's a little hypocritical. So I wish him the best. Become a Kansas City Chief. That's my only one gripe for my personal lives. Like I can't stand if he goes to the Chiefs, but that's just on me. At the end of the day, we're gonna just have to wait and find out.
That's true. So we got Tribe, and we're still taking the division even without Ayiuk.
Another Rams fan.
Thanks for I appreciate you.
Well, if you listen to Rich Eisen, according to him and Chris Brockman, the Arizona Cardinals are winning our division. And they're going to be the last to be undefeated in our division. So,
I heard
according
that.
to Rich Eisen, that is what's happening in our division. The NFC West belongs to the Cardinals.
Must be a slow
And
day
one
today over
Kyler Murray.
Must be a
So we got Eric Wallace, the resident Seahawks fan, in the
What's
chat.
up, Eric?
On, buddy?
Good dude. He's a good dude.
Hi, Eric.
He always supports everybody.
I've seen him around.
I agree with Melissa. This has been personal since day one with Shanahan and Brandon. And to be honest, if Shanahan didn't choke that Super Bowl, I don't think Brandon is, because he was, as soon as it ended, he was like on social media, we might as well stay here. And I understand where Brandon's coming from, because when you have a boss or a super who's just incredibly arrogant and puts you through the ringer only to screw you back, in a sense, you just have to say, all right, I'm done at this job. I'm not going to be disrespected like this. And I think it's a matter of respect. And that's it.
Spongy, what's your take on this? How sick of you are you hearing about it?
I'm just sick of it being all over my Twitter timeline.
Right?
And hearing it from you guys. And especially hearing it from Washington Commander fans. I just want it to get done, and I think it's going to get done at least tomorrow.
Well, right now, the truth is the holdup. The 49ers have agreed in principle to trades with other teams, but then they hand it to Brandon Ayiuk, and he's not willing to take the money they're offering. So here it is. It's not, it's on him right now.
Yep.
So maybe that's why he was disgruntled when he walked off the field today. Maybe, but he needs to realize that there's a market. And a lot of these guys, like Armand St. Brown, he's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's made a first-team All-Pro. Yes, Brandon Aiyuk is an All-Pro too. He made the second team.
To be fair, he's also the.
He's the primary guy over there too.
Yeah, I think if he was on the Niners,
he was before they got Laporta. So yeah.
I feel like, but David, if Amon-Ra St. Brown was in the same position as Brandon Aiyuk right now on the 49ers, I think he would be doing the same thing as Brandon Aiyuk right now with at least the same stats.
And
I have a little pushback to that.
Go ahead.
I have a little pushback to that because I kind of have a soft spot for the Lions. You all know my brother's a Packer fan, so I kind of troll him by kind of loving on the Lions. Thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown was that for the last couple of years, he's actually been kind of pushed aside by the media, the fans, the fans in general, with the whole Jameson Williams coming there and being such a high pick and kind of being like the guy that's forgotten behind the running backs, and Williams, even though he was suspended or hurt or missed time for whatever, but he still grinded and he still earned his money and he still kept it out of the press. The Lions have a big spotlight on them right now, and Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't make a spectacle of himself. So I don't think it's fair to compare the two. But if we're just talking in general about wide receivers who've been kind of paid right now, all of them have been at some point on their teams being featured as the guy. And that might be exactly why this is boiling down to this. Because even on your team, Spongy, when AJ Brown hasn't been the guy, it's been Devontae Smith. It's been either Tyreek Hill or I'm kind of blanking on the guy behind Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle, yes. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, they've been the guys, but Stephon Diggs is now there, but Stephon Diggs has been a guy on multiple teams. And so I think all these receivers who are up for, I think all these guys that have kind of been paid this offseason or are up for being paid off this offseason have been the guy for their teams. So when push comes to shove, they're the guy that the team goes to. And Brandon Ayiuk isn't that okay? Can I finish and then you can rebuttal? Brandon Ayiuk has never been that guy for the Niners, aside from his rookie year in 2020 when everybody and their mother was injured. It's always been George or Kyle Juszczyk or Debo, now Jennings. There's always been somebody else that Kyle goes to in big critical games and big spots in games, and he forgets everybody else kind of exists. And so I think it's easy to attack the player, but I think the Ayiuk thing is very, very, very personal. I hope it works out well for us because we all love him. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's fair to compare him to anybody else in the league because it's not like any other situation in the league right now. And that's just my thoughts.
I don't know if you heard what I said completely, but what I said was if Amon-Ra St. Brown was on the 49ers right now, okay, I think he would put up similar stats, is what I was saying.
I'm not disagreeing with that, Spongy. I'm just saying the way they handle their contracts is different.
But I never brought up contracts in that situation, though.
Well, that's what we're talking about, though. We're talking about how Brandon is handling this.
Yeah, but what I said was not a part of that.
Okay, you know what?
You know, on a lighter note, Matt Breida is back.
You're welcome.
YTC, I still wish he was a Giant because I thought that was hilarious that he was like your leading guy last year and the year before that, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like him and Richie James. It was like all the former Niners. They're like the guys.
We got Singletary now, so.
YTC was a huge fan of Richie James.
Oh. Hey, listen, as much as I crapped on Richie James, he was better over here than in Kansas City. He was dropping everything over Mahomes.
Oh my gosh.
He looked horrible in the Chiefs.
Yeah, but you know what? But yeah, like with the Cardavius Stoney, they have rings, so we can make fun of them all they want. They got their friggin' rings with Mahomes, rings. So
yeah, it's a healthy scratch. And one thing.
So
I missed you, YTC.
So before I hopped on earlier, I turned on the local news, and they were talking about the Brandon Ayiuk situation.
Oh,
okay.
And the sportscaster was saying that the thing that McNiner said, how the hell do you the team says, here you go, choose a team, and you say you don't want to go nowhere. And I'm scratching my head, and I'm like, wait a second. The Niners are trying to offload you, and you said no. And so I didn't watch the whole segment because again I was about to hop on, but you scratch your head why he said no to the deals. And so there has to be something that does he want to be here? Because when a team says, hey, pick your teams, pick where you want to go, and the player says no. And so for me, I scratched my head and I said, there has to be something. He walks off the field today, not in a good mood. So what's going on? And I personally think, and again, this is just my opinion and nobody's opinion. Are you doing this to yourself, man? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you want to stay here?
Can I add to that real quick? Can I interject?
Yeah.
I think he does want to stay here. I just don't want. I think I want to play with Kyle Shanahan.
Spot on.
That's it.
Spot on.
It might just be that.
I also want something else.
I mean, wasn't Ayiuk in the dughouse at some point early in his career before he popped off with Brock Purdy? He was in a dugout with Debo being the more bigger guy than him.
Yes.
He might still hold resentment for that because he wasn't pushed earlier than he was. I guess maybe there might be some resentment.
Okay, so what happened? What happened? YTC was that Ayiuk was the only healthy option in 2020. That his rookie year, that was the COVID year where everything was kind of sideways, to put it nicely. So the next year that he came into camp, they didn't have an official camp the previous year, and him and Shanahan kind of butted heads. And Shanahan has this propensity, and he said this on multiple occasions, where he kind of judges how people act at camp, and then he goes from there. And if you don't mesh with him right away, or if he takes your behavior the wrong way, you kind of end up in his doghouse. And so that was a huge factor in what happened between the two of them. And then he was not really featured in the first few games of the 2021 season. So the doghouse became a bigger story. And then Debo had to man up and kind of take Brandon along to his pressers to kind of like smooth things over. And then Ayiuk had to be the big person and then go to Shanahan's office to kind of smooth things over. And so, like I said, this thing between them is really, really personal. We've all kind of seen parts of it play out. I don't know if it's fixable. I think it might end up actually being kind of like Trent Williams on the Commanders, or when it was the Redskins, where it's just there's no trust left over at the end, and if there's no trust, there's no way to fix it. I hope that's not the point at where we're at, but it could be possible.
I mean, can I say something real quick? I think with what Melissa just said, and with Kyle and the whole doghouse stuff, I think sometimes you can't. I understand he bases it off behavior in camp and stuff, but he's not going to understand all these young kids coming in because this is a new generation. And if he doesn't understand, these kids.
The lingo.
I'm sorry, yeah, and the lingo, they're going to start hiring guys like D'Amico Ryans, who is a younger coach. He kind of gets these kids because he was just in the league a few years ago. And he's a former player. The only experience Kyle has is, I believe his dad was a coach.
His dad
and Kyle is a very good coach. I can't deny that. But
yeah, he's a good play caller. I expected that about Kyle, but yeah.
And if I think Ayiuk knows that he's on a good team right now, and I think he wants to stay. But Kyle, is the big piece, like you guys said. I think that's why. I think that's a massive reason why he declined that Patriots offer. I think if he gets a similar offer like that from the 49ers, he might take it. But we never know.
Well,
You also have to keep in mind with guarantees, by the way, because certain contracts do have the same amount of average pay per year, but I think it's mostly boils down to guarantees and clauses.
Well, and the Niners also have this really bad habit of the year after or 2 years after of constantly restructuring deals to free up more cap space. So I also think that has a huge part in this because Trent Williams has been asked to restructure, George Kittle, Fred Warner. I'm not sure if Bosa has, but most of the highly paid players for the Niners in the last couple of years have all been asked to restructure their deals. Kyle Juszczyk was the latest victim who took a major offense to being asked to take a pay cut. Eric Armstead. So if that's what this is about, that actually kind of supports Brandon begrudgingly being like, I don't want to be the next guy that gets my money taken away from me.
Yep.
Well, ultimately, when they restructure them, what they do is they change it to a signing bonus, so they're getting paid right then.
No, I get that, but a lot of these players base their stuff on how much they make a year, how much of those bonuses they can actually think that they're going to make and stuff. So I think it's not that they're not going to get paid or make their money, because we all seen what happened with D Ford. He restructured, and now we're finally not paying him. So, and he's been retired for a couple of years.
Yep.
I'm not saying that they don't get paid. I'm just saying that players don't like when the team comes back at them after being paid and being like, well, if you want to stay here, we can't handle you at this price line. So we need you to be team friendly now and take back what we said we were to give you. I think that has a lot to do with player pride and players not liking that. I think it's really crazy that this is happening. I mean, but see, I think you of all people will understand this. Like Beckham made his deal, right? Beckham
OBJ
fought
years
hard.
back.
Yeah, like Beckham fought hard for his deal, and he had to make that backdoor promise not to trash the team or call out your quarterback at the time. And then when he signed the deal and he still did it anyway, then things kind of just like completely broke down between the Giants and OBJ.
Yeah, because
because
he didn't like Pat Shermer. You could tell he didn't like the offensive coordinator from that point.
He didn't like Pat Shermer. He didn't like Eli. He kept calling out you guys staying with Eli. And I think
it was the Justina Anderson podcast. Yeah.
More and more these players have.
49er media Anshel on here for a minute, but he was out.
Sorry, Anshel. I really think
to the Pats and Browns. Pittsburgh is set on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is willing to pay. The Niners only have a handshake deal. I'm not sure if they even have that with Pittsburgh right now.
So
that means they can pull it back at any moment. And Steve-O asked, "Where's Corona?" He had back surgery.
Yep,
he's recovering.
He was actually spent the weekend in the hospital, but he's home recovering right now.
Yep,
he's doing okay.
He was on Tyrell stream earlier, by the way, so he's doing fine.
So I want to point this out. I've never been a fan of Prague. I think that's our money guy, that he backloads these contracts, and then down the road, and then you brought up something very important, that Fred Warner has restructured back-to-back off seasons. George Kittle has structured back-to-back off season. Eric Armstead, they try to make him, even though I wasn't a big fan of that contract, and he did something, and they asked him a third time. And I think that's why he's not on this team, because he's like, I've done this twice. And then now Kyle Juszczyk, who is overpaid in my opinion. And he's like,
don't even get me started on that.
And he's I feel disrespectful. This is what the Niners do. And this is the thing why I never liked the Armstead contract, because down the road, it was going to bite us. And he's on another team. And so at the end of the day, like, the Niners need to stop doing this. If you don't have the money, stop telling people to restructure. And then our
everyone
offensive player, he's like, I'm not suiting up until you guys fix up my contract. So Prague, in my book, in the last 4 or 5 years, he's been messing up the books. And a player who has not been on the team, we were still paying him. Okay, I'm done with and there's a reason why I never understand these backloaded contracts. And like, what's his name? Jason, the captain, he does not like contracts. So I want to point that out. So maybe that has to do why it's taking longer than it's supposed to.
Plus, wasn't this the first time that Brandon actually missed a game due to injury this year? When he missed the Giants game? Like, sometimes when guys get that first big injury, they start thinking differently about their monies and their guarantees. And he's been mostly healthy, but
that's actually a really, really good question. I'm gonna look and see. I think I think that's.
I mean, you're not wrong, Melissa. Like I said, yeah, especially running backs. A lot of these players look at they get that big injury.
at the end of the day, I hope it's not a Le'Veon Bell situation where he sits out a year and then he kind of goes to the next team and things go up.
Finish what John Jay said. Let me just add on to what John Jay said, because it's my train of thought. Parag McGrath has done nothing but screw this up, like John was saying. So how did this happen? How did Parag get into this position? When Eddie DeBartolo was forced to give the team over to his Denise picked the front office. Denise and John hired all of the people in the front office. They are the ones directly responsible. It all comes from the top down. So until that ownership mentality changes, until they stop seeing the 49ers as a cash machine, and actually have a little bit of pride in restoring some prestige to the organization, this will continue.
So
Yeah, it's similar to the
reason why-
Cowboys. It's the same kind of thing over there with contentment instead of forging a new legacy.
Ooh, so
Like,
in 2020, Brandon missed 4 games, but that was our that was
his rookie
season that
year.
we had 80 plus players on the injured report.
Another
But beyond
reason why,
that, just
you know,
he's only missed 2 games. Well, no, yeah, he's only missed 2 games since. So
I want to point this out. One of the games that he missed was that I don't know why they forced the Niners to play that when we were only down to like a few receivers, and our number one receiver was Richie James. One of those games that he missed was because one of the players tested positive, and a lot of the receivers were not allowed to play. And so
Please don't bring up that Packer game.
So
that's what he's talking about.
I hate that Packer game.
another reason why
I really hate that Packer game. Why did we have to bring up the Packer game?
Which Packer game? There's been like several since.
I know, huh?
Okay, there's the 2020 Packer game where the Packer who actually got to play in that game had COVID and wasn't taken out of the Thursday night football game.
Oh,
And
I
yet
remember that.
3 Niners were taken out of the game on a false positive on a short week. And then, of course, everyone knows how I feel about the 2021 Packer game with Kyle Juszczyk being the only freaking running back in that game. It's just, and you know what? I think the most infuriating part of this is that the Niners set themselves up for this, whether you blame the front office or whatever, by this constant need to wait past everybody else making their deals. Because they want to wait past June 1st or July 1st, or they want to wait till August. Like, it's getting worse and worse each year, and more players are taking it far more personal every year because it's just, at the end of the day, somebody has to break the cycle.
And that comes from the ownership. That's all goes back to the ownership, and it's like a CEO of a company. The CEO of a company dictates the culture of wherever you're working. So if they don't give a damn, and it's just a set it and forget it kind of situation. They're not locked in. When we went 3-5, when we started this 2021 season 3-5, John York personally flew down, right? What was that meeting about, if not to reinforce Kyle? Hey, listen, you were just in the Super Bowl. We have higher expectations for you. If you flame out, we're not going to extend you, kind of thing. Point on that, Melissa.
I think a big thing is you guys are waiting to give out the contracts to your star players. Like with the Eagles earlier this year, we got the opportunity to extend Devontae Smith, and we took it right away. And we got a steal for him because after that, Amon-Ra St. Brown got his contract. CeeDee Lamb's going to get his contract. Brandon Aiyuk's going to get his contract. And we paid him way less than what these guys are getting paid.
Because Howie Roseman knows what he's doing.
But that's the difference, Spongy. We're saying that your culture, the Dolphins who paid their 2 receivers, everyone else's culture is much different from the way our organization has been holding things lately.
I'm just bringing up that you guys got to pay your guys quick, sooner. That's the
Spongy, if any of us had a say in this, things would be way different. I don't think there's one organization here would say differently. But can we move on to a different receiver news, because this showed up on my timeline right before I came here, and it kind of really pissed me off. I have no respect for this player, and for me to say that isn't because he's on a rival team. I really have no respect for this person as a person and as a player in general. But I have a huge gripe about DK Metcalf. I think it's absolutely insane to me how all these defensive players get bad reps as dirty players, or you have to watch them, or they need to be penalized more players because of what their position is, or even offensive linemen have that label. But DK Metcalf took a swing at somebody with a helmet today. It's not his first infraction, and I don't understand how this player or fans in general just don't ever hold these ultra diva, ultra dangerous people to the same standard and call them dirty or hold things against them, because there's not a player I can think in general of now or ever who was ejected in a game the way DK Metcalf was a couple of years ago, and then snuck into the huddle on the very next snap, thinking that the rule didn't apply to him and he could sneak back into the game even after being ejected, and grabbing a guy's face mask and all the other shit he did to get thrown out of that Packer game. And then Romo's laughing about it in the press box, making a joke of him trying to sneak back into the game. Like, I don't understand why this guy gets a pass in general.
I do see a lot of people call him a dirty player, but I mean, a reason, you know, he gets more media attention. Guys like him more than, who can you call a dirty player? Okay, Diamador Lenore. You know, people know the name DK Metcalf. They don't know the name Diamador. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, Spongy, but I'm just saying I think it's a really effed up situation where these certain mega stars of the league kind of get special treatment and don't get called out and get the same kind of scrutiny. And I think it's also the same kind of thing when it comes to quarterback play. Like, the rule is, and the standard should be, that if any quarterback has anyone land on him in any significant way in a game, or if any quarterback has a helmet lowered into him, it should be called out. And yet, we don't get that privilege.
There's so many things in this league that should get called out, but they don't. And we can complain about it all we want. It's not going to get fixed. You know what I mean?
I had to bring it up, Spongy.
I'm not getting mad at you for bringing it up. I'm just saying, you know, we can complain about this stuff all we want. Nothing's going to change about it. Like, I can complain all I want about, you know, these offensive line calls not getting the same, like, in the Super Bowl. I know it happened for you guys too, but it also happened for us. Just because the Chiefs are the NFL's dynasty, you know, their golden child, you know, they get all the favoritism calls. You know, we can bring that up all we want. That's not going to change. You know what I mean?
But I also think keeping silent and not addressing it as fans is also just kind of being like, okay, well, the rest are not calling it.
Bringing it up. People have been bringing up all the massive reporters like Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport have made articles about the DK Metcalf situation. And actually, 5 more fights broke out at that practice.
I know. So, on a related note, I wanted to ask YTC's opinion about his quarterback getting in a fight at Lions camp.
It was the wide receiver, Daniel Jones.
No, Daniel Jones got into the fighting as well.
But it was
those guys.
Neighbors who started
This is just practice, folks. You know, it's nice to see fire, but it's just practice. Come on now, you're not even in a game yet.
But for a lot of these guys, it's their first, you know, practice experience. And I think with a lot of the people who are coming in the league now, they think they're, you know, all that and all that stuff. And I think that's another reason why these fights start. This is a league where people are trash talking. Some people can't take that. Some people can.
Well, this is not new. Like, I was having a conversation 5-6 years ago with a coworker. Nothing has changed in sports. What's changed is there's more beat writers, there's more smartphones, there's more people recording, and you're seeing everything.
All right, I'm back.
You're seeing everything. Okay? It's not what it used to be. Fights have always happened. Fights have always happened. And it used to be much worse. You know, I'm old enough to remember and I don't want to bring up YTC's team, but YTC talks about the best player on defense, Lawrence Taylor. That dude would always snap at the media. He would put his hands on the media, and he never got. It's just how it was. It's now that we're seeing it. Everyone's like uploading. You have like 50 people uploading, and we're seeing it. And also with the Hard Knocks, like if you go back to when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, because Hard Knocks has been over 20 plus years.
20 plus years, yeah.
The fights have always happened. It's always happened. That's never going to change. Some fights
That's
are
the high level of testosterone.
You're supposed to keep your helmet on during camp fights.
Right.
And so, and then
Trent Schrader, thanks for showing up, buddy. I appreciate you. Sorry, John.
No, but fights are off. It's part of it. Yeah.
A few off seasons ago, one of our receivers and Fred Warner got into it, and fist was thrown. So it happens. This is not like this is just brand new. Yes, the helmets are now coming off. Now it's getting a little bit more. But yeah, if you're not old enough like me to see this, like now, like you go on Twitter and every 5 seconds there's like 20 videos.
There's a fight. There's like a fight.
Yeah.
It's not like.
Hey, listen. Also, P.S. 200K is not shit to owners, by the way. Because they find us with the Detroit fight. So yeah.
Tommy Huxley is in the building, folks. He's in the building. He's down there.
Hi, Tommy Huxley.
Hi, Tommy.
Hey, what's up?
Tommy.
And what's up, Tommy? And also, I was scrolling through my timeline today and stuff, and in Appalachian State, the college, in their practice, a defensive lineman ripped the helmet of an offensive lineman off and swung it at his face and hit him in the face, and I think the guy got knocked out.
Yeah, that's not how we would do it.
Right.
I saw it with DK Metcalf, 2 hours later. It's and also this generation, all this stuff that's going on in the world right now, and all this stuff just in general, it's crazy. And people are becoming crazy and all that stuff.
Just based on my experience, when there are fights at practice or off season, the guys have their helmet on. They don't take their helmets off or rip anybody's helmet off intentionally to use it as a weapon to, essentially kill them in a fit of rage. It's just, I don't know if it's the coaching or whatever, but these guys need to be reminded of the honor of the game. I mean, the honor and how you carry yourself. Just rip somebody's helmet off and just swing it at them. That's the biggest bitch move you can imagine, especially if it's a teammate.
Yep.
And John Jay would agree.
But I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I mean, two of the biggest.
It's never going to
two of the biggest defensive players in this generation of defensive linemen have gotten away with this kind of without being really punished. I mean, Myles Garrett did a couple years ago against Mason Rudolph in an actual game. Aaron Donald took a 3 helmets and swung them at multiple players last year in training camp. I mean, this is just a constantly
respectfully
growing issue.
Aaron Donald's
it's been an issue, but respectfully, none of this stuff is gonna end. We can't.
Yes, it can.
To end either.
Yes, it can.
The only way
you find them.
Yep, you find them or suspend them.
You find them or suspend them.
They are getting fined. Everybody.
Not enough.
Well, Aaron Donald wasn't suspended or fined last year, Spongy. So that's not correct.
And so was
it's their responsibility to conduct themselves professionally and recommended for their own transgressions. Yeah.
So I'm only speaking from my experience, but I know baseball is not football, but any sport that you're playing, any type of athletic competition, okay. I would get in, I would get in fights with my own teammates. It's not that I hated them. And again, I'm not trying to say something controversial, but when you're in the heat of the moment, and you know your testosterone levels is like climb up, and like, oh my gosh, and you forget at what moment. In baseball, when this happened like decades ago, way before my time. I don't know if anyone was alive, but there was a San Francisco Giants player who, after he got hit from a baseball, he whacked the hitter with a baseball bat. This is years ago, way before my time. I wasn't even alive. Athletic competition, for whatever the reason, and I'm not trying to talk about, like people taking illegal substance, but sometimes, that rage just, comes out of nowhere. And so when you're in athletic competition, one thing that you try to do is to avoid fights. I agree. 100%. Fights should not happen. But sometimes, when the heat of the moment, you forget sometimes what you are doing, and sometimes things happen. And I'm not trying to say that this is a great thing for sports, but I'm speaking from my experience. When you're on that field, it's not, when you're walking on the sidewalk. When you're on that field, it's different. It's different because you're. Yes. That's just my experience. Yes, they should be fine.
My experience actually validates what your experience is saying, John. I'm just a few years older than you. I played Pop Warner football all the way up to before junior high. When we got angry, the coaches told us, "You keep your helmet on. You don't take." I have no problem with fights at practice. I get it. Some person picked a fight with me because they thought I was hitting them too hard, and drills. You keep your helmet on. My thing is, fight as much as you want on a practice squad. Get it out. And I completely agree with you. In the heat of the moment, get it out. But there's got to be some like logic in your brain that says, I'm not going to take my helmet off and just start bashing people in the skull with it.
Right.
Another thing
I think there's a step. Bad wiring, to be honest.
And the league, cannot be very lenient. Like the league, they have to say, all right, if the team's not going to do nothing, then we need to step in. And if the league's not going to do that, again, you're basically putting a precedent and saying, hey, the league ain't mad at us, that we did this. So, it's called no holds barred. That's the reason why, that term is there. But if you put your foot down and let them know, oh, okay, let's not get too heated, because I know these guys are millionaires, but if you do fine them, a week, like a week's check or a couple of weeks checks, they're like, oh crap, I'm not gonna have money for the rest of the month, because they still do get checks like normal people. Their checks are much bigger. So if you say, hey, we'll take away a month of your pay, how do you feel about that? They're like, oh, no, I want my money. So you do have to put your foot down. And, these new coaches, and I'm not trying to say, the younger generation is soft, but these new coaches have to say, hey, you are coaching millionaires. And so you cannot give these guys special, treatment. You still got to coach them, but at the same time, like Tom Brady says.
And that's what they've been getting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Tom Brady said it perfectly.
You got to think about, if you're a guy who's been playing, this is not me defending DK Metcalf or any of these guys at all. A lot of these guys have been playing football, especially NFL, for a little bit, and they've been getting hit hard. And something by the name of CTE exists. We can most definitely see it in Antonio Brown. And a lot of these guys, they get an extra rage because they've lost brain cells from this sport. And maybe DK Metcalf has, and maybe that's why he had the feeling to rip off that man's helmet. It's not right, but it's also another thing the NFL has to look at, and that's the main reason why a lot of this stuff happens.
Yeah, and my final point of this is Tom Brady many years ago was talking about how does this player and coach dynamic. He was talking about him and Bill Belichick. And one thing that he said was, yes, I make, the millions that I do. A lot of my players make millions of dollars on this team. And Bill Belichick, who is the coach, he's not making, like the millions, but he's still making a lot more money than a lot of the players that are not making the millions. And so he said, you have to learn how to balance. So when me and Bill Belichick had a relationship, you have to, both men have to remind each other, I'm the coach, but you're the person on the field. I'm the coach, but you're the player. And so you do need a good player-coach dynamic. And so the best coaches know how to coach, but at the same time, they know when buddy is gone out the door and when coaching and player relationships begin. That's why, and this is probably my hot take of the night. Kyle Shanahan, you cannot be buddy in the practice field and on the game field. That's just
I think that's actually harmed the 49ers to some degree because there is no alpha to check the locker room, so to speak. They see him as an equal, not their head coach to some respect. What do you think, John Jay?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I think the last, it kind of kills me to say this, but I think the last person to really keep the Niner locker room in check was Richard Sherman. I think that was the last time someone had the audacity to challenge things and call out both the offense and the defense.
So,
I actually agree with that.
So Papa J is asking about Tracy Walker III. And I looked at his stats. I don't know a lot about him, but everything I'm seeing tells me he's like the first man in if something happens to one of the starting two safeties. So he's not bad. But this also brings up the question of how is Hufanga coming along if they're signing a guy like this? There's
Walker,
some
he's gonna be a good depth piece for you guys if you guys keep him on the squad. And fun fact, he is the cousin of Eagles cornerback.
Oh,
Darius Slay.
I don't know if that's such a fun fact, but
I know, right?
Darius Slay. You want to be compared to him?
We got Riddy in the building. What's up, buddy? And yes, we were talking about Brandon Ayiuk earlier, and it's like the Niners, they get a trade worked out with a team, they got fair compensation, and then they go, all right, negotiate a contract. But then if Brandon's not, but he wants $35 million or whatever, he's not budging. The other team's going to pull out of the trade because they want to know that they can sign him long term to actually pull the trigger. But,
I'd say.
Crazy Juice, what's up, buddy? What's good?
Yeah, 2 months ago
traded Riddick to the Jets. So this is actually a prime example of what happens. Philly traded the disgruntled Hassan Riddick to the Jets. He wanted a contract extension, and he hasn't showed up for camp because he hasn't got his extension.
No, he actually did show up to camp. He showed up one day.
Oh.
I think. That's what I saw. But he is getting fined and stuff. He's gotten fined over $1 million so far.
Both Riddick and Aaron Rodgers have both fought with Jets brass this offseason. But
I think, that was something where I think that's very similar to what you guys are going through right now. We didn't want to get rid of Riddick, especially because he's a local guy, local kid. He actually grew up not too far from me. But we saw we didn't have enough money for him. I think the organization didn't want to let him go. But we got the right offer from the Jets. I think we got like a second-round pick. And yet again, that was another good move by Howie that a lot of people haven't recognized till now. He hasn't he's reported 1 day to camp, and he still hasn't gotten his contract yet. If we were the ones going through that right now and we hadn't paid him yet, we would have been in the media right now, and we would have been, big in the media right now because of it.
Well, Steve-O is saying if Ayiuk gets 1,400 receiving yards, he'll get $1 million for every 100 yards. Now that's actually that's true. I actually did the math on Ross Dwelly and how many catches he had, and it was over $300,000 a catch. So it's kind of that was back in the day. I was looking at that going, you got to be kidding me, you know.
I think that's another reason why I have.
Can I blame Greg Cohen for Ross Dwelly getting paid the way he was paid by calling him Ross the Boss? Because Grant Cohen made that guy get so much damn money. It's crazy to me.
He has the best hands on the team. Okay, why can't he get open and catch a ball?
Or play special teams or throw a decent block. Even Saquon Barkley could throw one decent block.
Where you at? There you are.
Firm.
Hey, how's it going? But yeah, it's a sticky. The whole trade. We could literally do exactly what Philly did and say, "Hey, you want Brandon Aiyuk? Here you go." But that's not saying that that another team is actually going to take him.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, in the building, first time in a while, we got Joe Stevens.
What's up, ladies?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Joe?
How's it going?
Plus, I also think that a lot of people forget that Brandon Aiyuk had a huge chip on his shoulder going into the
Joe, we kind of rated your chat earlier.
Into the Super Bowl. You remember this, David?
Hey, what happened to DK?
They were
Did he start
making
another fight today?
Yes. You remember when Brandon was being asked about Trent Williams getting to his first Super Bowl and how Brandon got really offended by all the media who said that no, this is about me going to my first Super Bowl? Like, I think the signs have been there all along. Like, I think Brandon is kind of sick of that mentality of being asked about Garoppolo and Purdy and Lance and all this other stuff. Like, I just hope we get a resolution because this is really annoying that it's dragged out this long.
I honestly think that sometimes it's just time to trade a guy. And, BA needs to realize he's asking too much. If he's asking more than $32 million, no team in the league is going to pay you that, man.
Exactly.
Edge guys barely get paid that much.
This will revert back to him being a 49er this next year. And he has absolutely torched that bridge. He lined it with dynamite and hit the trigger. So it's it's just a horrible situation overall, period, And I honestly would wish we could just trade him to the Steelers and be like, here, you guys negotiate with them. We got what we want. It's a you problem now.
When can I get my 11 Steelers jersey with Aiyuk on the back? That's what I meant to ask you guys.
Yeah, the Steelers have been doing this since what?
Order it. You can get
before free agency opened this year. That they were going to trade for either Aiyuk or Debo or both. Like, Steelers beat reporters have kept this alive this entire time.
I'll tell you what. The only 49er that deserves to win a Super Bowl is number 44. Use check.
Go.
What? First team All Pro.
Why do you feel that way?
Listen, I could give you a smart ass answer, but I'm not going to right now because they'll probably get canceled.
There's to win one ring just so he can make the Hall of Fame as one of the best fullbacks in NFL history.
Okay, I'm gonna say
canceled though.
I'm gonna say something petty.
I would have a start first.
I'm gonna say something petty because let's just be honest. Top 100 has come out, and for some freaking reason, a guy who played for only 4 plays and 75 seconds made the top 100 players, which is supposed to be voted on by the players themselves.
Yeah.
Didn't make the list. And he hasn't made the list in a couple years. So
who?
If Aaron Rodgers isn't the top 100, but Kyle Juszczyk isn't, maybe people need to calm down on this whole Kyle Juszczyk is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
He is. He's the fucking man.
Hey, he got a pay cut for a reason.
No,
Hey,
no.
Joe, what are you thinking? Like DK Metcalf, doing the whole try to fuck a guy with his helmet thing. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy. You guys didn't hear what happened. So that guy, Trey Brown, who's fucking awesome, by the way. He took Bobo's helmet off earlier and gave him an uppercut and bloodied the shit out of his nose. So Metcalf kind of came to the defense of Bobo, right? That's the thing is you guys, you only pay attention to what, the tip of the iceberg, right? Because you're 49ers fans. I'd only pay attention to the tip of the iceberg with you guys too, right? So, yeah, so that was aftermath of that guy ripping Bobo's helmet off, right? But they don't talk about that. We're a fucking team. Guess what? And we're gritty as fuck this year. We're not going to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row.
So what you're saying is that the situation that happened, there was something that led to that got that serious.
There was 8 fights in practice today.
Okay, see, and that's what I said earlier. Fights are going to happen, and then sometimes if you keep, and eventually it's going to get a little bit, chaotic. So yeah, that makes sense why it got to that level.
Yeah, which is fucking fine. At least they give a fuck.
I don't like that. When I was scrolling through Twitter earlier, I didn't even know that happened to Jake Bobo because they didn't report that because
it wasn't captured on video. I mean, here's the
also,
best thing.
People don't know who Jake Bobo is, but they know who DK Metcalf is.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, here's the deal, guys. Let me tell you the truth. This shit used to happen all the fucking time. 11, 12, 13. When the Legion of Boom kind of first started for team, and ever since they kind of got big heads, fights haven't been happening in practice. These guys give a fuck, which is nice to see. You know what? They want to go out there and not only make the team, they want to be playing every down. They give a shit. So let's see what happens.
Yep.
I absolutely have no problems with fights whatsoever. I do have a problem when you intentionally rip somebody's helmet off. But if this was an off-the-field fight, if this started off the field, that's we're having a totally different conversation.
No, it did start on the field with the same player and a different player. Who are you? I'm sorry, I'm Joe.
Oh, I'm Sentinel Football. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It's all right. Fred Warner still owns DK after that pick yet.
Hey,
Like,
we got.
I'm not saying DK Metcalf
Thank you.
didn't have a right to defend his player.
Hey, Joe.
I'm saying I don't respect the way he did it. I don't think it's fair for any player on any team for any reason.
You guys are
to
saying
swing
it
helmets.
DK Metcalf, though. If it was any other no-name player, this would be a non-story.
No, I just called out
non-story.
Hello.
No, I agree with DK did.
I called out Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett doing the same freaking thing, and neither of them are Seahawks. I don't agree with anyone on any team ever taking a helmet and swinging at somebody. I'm not talking about the context. Okay, don't tell me that I only have an issue with this about DK. I'm saying I don't approve of it for anything.
The context is what led to it happening.
Because you have to look at the context.
So when Trey Brown ripped Bobo's helmet off, are you pissed about that?
Yeah.
Okay, but
nobody's talking about that because it's not DK, right? Is what I'm saying. Shit like this happens all the fucking time.
Joe. That's exactly why, Joe.
Okay.
So,
I understand that this wasn't just DK freaking out.
No, you don't.
But I'm not going to excuse the action just because he was defending something that happened earlier on.
But should we defend Trey Brown? Because none of you guys are talking about Trey Brown.
Who's Trey Brown?
One of the players that are on the Seahawks.
He's a defensive back. He's actually pretty good, though.
Yeah, he picked off Burrow twice.
No. All right. I haven't seen anything to
I don't know why
remember his name.
has to, of course, the reason.
Philly, turn your mic up. Shit.
Now just put the mic a little closer to your mouth there, Sponge.
I have AirPods.
There you go. There you go. That's better.
Don't eat it, by the way.
But
Don't eat your microphone.
Joe is completely right. The only reason this is being brought up in the media and being brought up on the stream is because it is DK Metcalf. If the stuff about Trey Brown doing what he did to Jake Bobo, if there was video of it and it was posted and the stuff would, if it went viral, we actually wouldn't be talking about it right now because people wouldn't care because it's not DK Metcalf.
Name value. Yeah.
Name value. That's exactly what I brought up earlier. And Melissa, you didn't want to agree with me on that. So
I don't agree with you, Spongy.
Yo, Joe,
name
how's
value,
the DB from Auburn
and
looking?
because people are bored with the 21 clicks.
Yeah, and guess what? We're gonna have fucking football on literally tomorrow, but we're gonna have our team's football on Saturday, and nobody's gonna give a fuck about this on Saturday. Right? Am I wrong?
Football is family. What do you expect, man?
no,
Football's
it's not
football.
that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is. At the end
Tomorrow
of the day,
we
it is.
deal with Don Bird.
Well, not in that situation.
Domber.
Are y'all playing tomorrow?
No.
Yeah,
What?
we play on Saturday. We're playing.
No,
at
it's just the
Titans.
it's just the Panthers and Patriots, and then the Giants and Lions. Yeah, tomorrow.
Who plays on?
Yeah, we don't.
You guys aren't playing on Friday either, right? Saturday?
No. Yeah, Saturday.
What time?
Yes.
My game's Friday. No, not my game's Thursday.
I don't know what
I
time.
don't even know when my
I can
game
check it
is,
up right
so
now. Let me
I
go
I
don't
know
ahead
what
and check.
time. It's
I can go ahead and
at
look up
4
right now.
p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be
Okay.
7.
That's tight. The Seahawks start at 4, so
Who's
Wait.
your game against? Seattle?
no, the 49ers are at 4 too. 4 p.m.
Hey, McNair, do you think they sign Trey Walker because they want that
Yeah, Saturday,
veteran kind
August
of
10th.
competition at safety? Because George Odom has kind of been like up in the air, like good and bad, and he's missed time, and they just lost to Sean Gibson.
I know. So you're in just a second.
That might be it. I mean, when it comes to our 4 safeties, we got Hufanga coming back from a knee injury, which this could be saying that might be later than sooner.
Hey, turn my light on.
We got
Keep
Jair
the light
Brown and Huff. They're pretty much penciled in as the starters right now, and we got Mustafa who's playing pretty good. So there's our third safety.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they might be looking at Odom like he's expendable, and they might want a decent fourth body, which Tracy Walker III is a very good backup. On a lot of teams, he will start. So
Plus, I think
bring in some competition, some veteran competition is what you're saying.
Melissa, I'll
That's
make
the
a trade.
primary reason why I think we did.
Hold on. I'll send one of my
Okay.
safeties to the Niners. You guys want James Bradbury?
no, Spongy. I also think
Melissa, you love James Bradbury. Come on.
no, I really, really don't. I also think
Hold
that
on.
You used to be a Giants fan, Melissa.
I've never been a Giants fan, Spongy. I just watched them because my father is a fan of them.
You expose yourself.
Anyway.
Why would they want a free safety that can't even
Back-
tackle at his own position?
Back to why I think George Odom might be the guy that's kind of on the loose end is that I think the main reason why Odom and Burks were brought here was because of their special teams abilities and also being backups, veteran solid backups. I think with the new kickoff rules, the Niners are trying to go a different way with how they're considering handling all the new kickoff rules. So
they might actually be doing something different with their overall roster too, because we normally keep 5 linebackers, right?
Mhm.
They might be thinking about keeping 5 safeties instead of 5 linebackers.
And safety hasn't been exactly a healthy position of late.
No, it really hasn't.
Or of ever since Ronnie Lott.
Just
Sorry.
All right, you guys, I gotta head out. The girls are getting ready for bed, but
Dawn.
All
this
right,
is
Don,
gonna
you have a
be
great night.
Like,
you too. Thank you. This will be
Love
my
you.
last one.
Take care,
Love you
Dawn.
too. It'll be my last one because the girls start school next Wednesday.
Don, I won't be here next
okay.
time. You
Okay.
can
All right.
feel free to come back.
Well, I'm
Well,
not gonna know. The
you can
kids
still
start
be
school.
in.
Yes,
You can
I will
still
be in the
your
chat.
picks though. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can
Yes.
still DM your picks every week, and
Right.
you'll
Yeah.
be
No,
on
the
show.
girls, like I said, the girls start school next Wednesday, so I got to
Mhm.
get them back on their bedtime routine.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All righty.
Love you.
Love
All right,
you.
have a
Yeah,
good night.
bye.
Thanks for coming.
Have,
Take care,
have a
Dawn.
good one.
What the?
All right, now we can
Michael.
really talk. I'm just kidding.
Yo, Joe, how's that DB from Auburn looking?
Which one?
Pritchett?
Karaoke.
Oh, I haven't heard.
And he's
much.
at karaoke. Like really? We're gonna have to have a
Hey,
sing
every
off
day.
on Saturday on the debate show.
Hold on.
Dude,
every
it's
day.
fucking Wednesday karaoke night. What are you guys doing?
Hey, funny that y'all bring up karaoke because
Turn up your
You know,
mic,
so-
Sponge.
I'm going to camp every day, and they have a karaoke machine there, and it gets painful because I have to listen to Taylor Swift all day.
You know
Oh,
what,
shit.
Sponge? You're at the age where you can't drink yet.
Oh,
But once you're at that age, karaoke becomes massively fun watching people that can't sing.
it
Especially when
really
they're-
does. He's not
So,
lying.
so Spongy, what you're telling us is that your camp has a karaoke and you love listening to Taylor Swift? I'm joking.
Oh, so are you a
Oh
Chiefs fan?
no!
Are you
I'm
a Chiefs fan?
It's a joke.
It's part of the Swifties.
Where the fuck
So-
did my Mahomes jersey go?
No.
Hey, YTC, what did you
Yeah.
think of your Giants camp? Sorry,
Malik Neighbors,
Giants
Malik
Hard
Neighbors.
Knocks thing.
That's
I love it.
interesting
You know,
name.
I love watching the in politics. You know, with the front office and
Yo.
stuff like that, because we don't get much in depth. I wanted to see how it goes backstage, you know, and all. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
And we got a newcomer. We got 7-Star Mobile Home Park in the building. How's it going? Hope you're
Also,
having
shout
a
out to
good
that
night.
female scout in our
Appreciate you.
department, Hannah. So yeah, shout out to her.
That's literally Steve-O, guys. Oh, okay. I was just making sure you guys knew. I was like, that's his face. Sorry.
That's a funny name though. But so you know, we brought in a veteran safety, yeah, and we might be going with 5 safeties this year because of the new kickoff rule.
Oh, I thought you meant 5.
How do you guys actually think, Joe? Like, how do you think the new kickoff rule is going to affect the league? So you think we're going to see a lot more points on the board?
No, I think it's gay as fuck. Pardon my French.
Whoa.
I really do.
Imagine
I
having to
think-
guard Tyreek Hill.
I think it's dumb. I think that we're just going to kick the ball out of the end zone and it's going to start at the 30 every drive, just like it started at the 25 every drive last year.
Is it just me, or does it feel like they made this rule to be their new version of the taunting rule from a couple of years ago?
No, nothing.
Like a
even
stupid,
close.
pointless thing to try to supposedly keep fights down that's never going to really make anyone happy, and it's only going to delay games more with all these
What they're trying to do is
penalties.
limit the 50-yard start contact between heads, but they say punts aren't that bad. My problem is, then why not just start a game with a punt? Put the long snapper at the 45, punt the ball to start the game. That's fine. I mean, that doesn't look dumb as fuck like this one. Am I wrong?
I don't understand why you have to now do an onside
You know
kick
what? I
if
actually
you're
agree.
behind in the fourth quarter.
You know-
That just
You
makes
know what?
no
I actually
sense to
agree.
me.
Let's
That
get
makes
the punter to
sense.
start the game.
Go ahead, YTC.
Okay, think of it this way. How
I
do
agree with you,
these
Joe.
rules
Let's just get
benefit
the punter.
Vegas? Because ultimately, that's what's deciding everything these days. How do these rules benefit Vegas?
Yeah, those
up.
the people in Vegas.
No, for sure.
It's true.
Real. Follow the
think
money,
we're
you
gonna see
dope.
one. I think this preseason, obviously the Hall of Fame game, there was really nothing to write home about it. But I think
I
this
feel it's
Certainly
preseason
living up to that
we'll either
Seahawk
see
intelligence.
a shitload of returns for a touchdown, or we will see a shitload of basically
Holding.
stops at the 20-yard line. So if there's a shitload of returns for a touchdown in the preseason, guess what? They're just going to boot the ball out and take it at 30.
Mhm.
That's fine with me.
Mm-hmm. Won't be a bunch of holding calls. At that.
I don't think you're gonna get a lot of returns because usually in preseason everybody wants to make things so vanilla that you don't have anything to
No, because those guys
use in the first few games.
Those guys returning those kicks are fighting for a job, and all the people on special teams are fighting for a job.
Mm-hmm. Now, like for me, I saw the kickoff, in that Hall of Fame game, and I'm like, that was the most dumbest thing I saw, because it's not going to make any sense, because the return team and the kicking team are 5 yards, close. They are, I think, like 20 yards away from the kicker. The ball has to land in that kicking zone. You cannot boot it because it's going to penalize you. So they're incentivizing for you. And when you catch it, because you are that close, you don't have time to set up a blocking team. And so a lot of the returns are going to be very, very 5, maybe 10 yards. And maybe occasionally they'll break through and it'll be a touchdown. So there's going to be 3 outcomes: bad returns, decent returns, and every now and then you'll see someone go into the end zone. Because
just kick it out the fucking back of the end zone, take it at the 30, make it a touchback,
Yes.
and we'll play
But
defense.
the Hall of Fame game also had a bunch of false starts and all this other stuff where guys jumped the gun before it landed in the zone that it's supposed to be in. Like,
I think that was only once. I really do. I think that was the first ever one.
And I think that's practicing it in practice is going to be different than the first time they're seeing it in game.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, somebody's going to mess up on something that is brand new. Maybe the only people in this league that'll actually be good at it is former XFL players.
Spongy, you're getting wiser with your old age.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Oh,
I mean,
go ahead. Sorry, guys. I'm not leading this.
I mean, look. If you got a kicker that can't kick it out the back of the end zone, you're going to be in some trouble.
Well, then maybe you should get a new fucking kicker if you can't boot it out the back.
Exactly.
Just into the end zone. It doesn't have to go out the back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Niners.
I mean, if the guy breaks a tackle, because they're not going to be stacked up anymore. They're all standing in one line.
Mm-hmm.
If the guy runs up and his blockers get him a hole, he breaks a tackle. The only person he's got to beat is the kicker that can't cross the 50. And that's a touchdown.
I think the 49ers just need a kicker that can make an extra point, guys. Sorry. I had to go low. When you said that, I had to go
we're not going to see Mitch Witch make any more tackles on these special teams plays anymore.
No, you will, because he's the punt.
Mitch is the punter. Remember, Moody's going to be kicking off.
Yeah.
So
I just love seeing Mitch Witch make those tackles.
Well,
I know it's bad, but it's just such fun.
I think
Mitch being a rugby player, I kind of feel like he should be doing the kickoff because it gives us an extra safety back there.
I know. Rugby, everyone's tackling, and so makes a lot of sense if he kicks off.
I think they should put Juszczyk out there. He's literally the best all-around player on the team.
Oh, there's Terradome.
Remember, Joe.
Hi, Terradome.
No, Joe, remember, they have somebody on the team that can be a running back and a receiver, but he's better as a running back.
Oh, yeah. Juszczyk, I know.
Are you talking about your quarterback who is officially a running back?
Are you talking about the guy that
running back that occasionally throws
you mean
the
the
ball?
guy that's going to steal Saquon's touchdowns? He's going to demand a trade by the deadline because he keeps stealing his TDs.
Listen, you guys are too much for me tonight.
I know dang well he's not going to request a trade back to your trashy franchise, YTC.
I don't want them back anyways. You can have our damage goods because it works out good for you when you take them
But you
anyways.
want it.
Philly
You want,
fan
you
and the
want him
Giants fan.
back.
Yeah, it really works out when you
Want
take our
him
sloppy
back.
seconds.
No, don't
Yeah,
lie. You
yeah.
want him back.
Oh,
Cough, cough, James.
Bribery don't ring a bell?
Oh my God, YTC. Those are fighting words.
Come on, it never works when they poach off the NFC East. It never works.
Hey, YTC, are you still worried? Because you guys always lose to the Seahawks.
Oh my God. Oh my.
I'm sorry.
They don't always lose to the Seahawks. Do you remember a couple of years ago where they went
Yeah,
into Seattle and
Yeah,
kicked
we
their
ran-
sorry
Yeah, that
asses?
game.
Yeah, Melissa.
With-
That only
with,
game we won because
There was no fans there. That don't
Wayne
count.
we had the
Goldman.
corpse.
Wayne
we had the
Goldman
corpse of
kicked
Al-
Seattle's ass.
We had the
Hey,
corpse of
Melissa,
Alfred Morris running them.
Melissa,
That's how bad it was.
If you
We had
don't
the
want
corpse
to
of
talk about
Alfred
the last
Morris.
2 years, if you don't want to talk about the last 2 years,
you
if
would
you just
know
want to
that.
talk about 3 years ago and on,
I'm not
I'm
talking
totally fine with that.
Of course you would
No.
know about the
Well,
Giants.
but
You're a Giants
what's the
fan.
difference between 3 years ago and on versus right now, though?
Melissa is a Giants fan.
Oh,
Melissa is a
mainly
Giants fan.
because we were 13-3 against the 49ers. Before that.
Okay.
Melissa,
Hmm?
you're a Giants fan?
No.
We're talking about watching it.
You don't like the San Francisco Giants, Melissa? Where are you from?
Lord. I watched the New York Giants. I even
you're a
like
Giants fan.
some of their
You're a Giants
players,
fan.
but I am not a Giants fan.
Really?
Yeah, you
I fucking hate all their players.
I mean, they use that same logic to
No
call me a
players.
Packers fan because apparently my ties to my old man. So I guess by that logic, we're gonna. So not welcome to my
But
world.
I will say this though, YTC, I cannot wait to watch Brian Burns just light it up for your team this year.
Giants fan confirmed.
Thank you.
I've been a Burns fan since he was a Carolina Panther, so
Really?
call that whatever you want, but
Panthers fan too. Jesus.
Sponge, a little closer.
hey, at least Spongy, I'll admit that I like different players around the league and not just make everything about one team the way you do with the
Yeah,
Eagles.
exactly.
Really?
Well, because I like.
So
Is it
I'm a
what do I
Sponge.
like a guy like Nico Collins and Tyler Lockett? I'm apparently a Seahawks or Texans fan.
I like other guys, but if I were to say I like other players on other teams,
Tommy
I would
DeVito.
be confronted.
Yeah, and that's why I get
Fake fan.
exactly.
I'm a Sponge.
And also
If
because
you
I like
don't-
those guys
if you
because
don't
of
play
fantasy
for the
purposes.
Seahawks, if you
Melissa,
don't play
Melissa,
for the Seahawks and you weren't a
Yeah, Tyler
Washington
Lockett for me
Huskies,
on Joe.
I don't
He
give a
carried my
shit about
fantasy
you.
team that one year.
yo,
He
Melissa,
carried
are
me
you
that one
sure?
fantasy year, Joe. Yeah.
Melissa, are you
Tyler
sure you're
Lockett's
not more
a
of
guy.
a Jawan Jennings fan than you are a National Niners fan?
Hey
Be
Melissa,
honest.
I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I am a sports card collector. Yes, I like other players on other teams.
Mm-hmm.
The same applies here, but I get called a different fan if I mention.
Okay,
Exactly.
and
That's why I don't
yes.
bring it up.
I am a extreme Juwan Jennings fan, but that doesn't mean I don't love the Niners.
So when
And
the Seahawks
to be
win in
honest,
2 years,
I have the ability to put Juwan Jennings up on my Niner wall, which is in my room. I don't have Juwan Jennings up on my wall. I have Diamador Lenore up on my wall. I have the Yak brothers up on my wall. I have Trent Williams up on my wall. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, a bunch of different athletes, but I don't have Juwan Jennings up on my wall. That doesn't mean that I'll take a pot shot at Juwan Jennings, but I am a Niners fan at the end of the day.
We talk about
Hold on.
Jennings so much.
So
Hold on, all
what?
these-
Melissa, stop. You guys, stop. Do you know why they're called the Yak Brothers?
Yes.
Because they
Yards
make me
after
wanna
catch.
fucking puke every time I see them.
What?
Oh, that's cute. And every time I have to hear your stupid 12 chant, that makes me want to puke.
There is no 12 chant. Literally. McNiner, what's been going on in your neck of the woods?
Hey.
I haven't talked to you guys in like months.
I don't know if you see this,
Yeah, vice
Melissa, but
versa.
I'm fans
I
of
haven't
other
on here either,
players
so.
on different teams. I
New
don't know
Jersey
how-
sucks. It rains every
you know,
fucking
what-
day over here.
You know, look at this. This is also
So move on of it
just
then.
This is
smoky
all
skies
football
because of
cards.
that fire going on in California.
So Carcast, move on of it then.
the
Fucking
sun
let
actually
everybody
turns
see.
red.
Oh.
Turns
I-
red when it's going down.
YTC, I'm
It's
not
bad
in the
right
state.
now.
I don't have the money to do that right now.
So I don't want to expose anybody, but Carcast, if you want to call someone a Giants fan,
You're a
didn't you
Ravens
tell
fan.
me that you also love the Giants?
Well, did he now?
My family's No, I'm not a.
We mentioned
all right, all right.
Make that
I'm
make
not a
sense.
Giants fan myself. I slipped up once.
Sorry.
Right? But Melissa over
I
here
like
loves.
this guy. Hold on. I like this guy. He's
But yeah, Melissa's
the
right. Brian
third
Burns is going to
stringer
murder
for the
Jalen Hurts
Ravens right
and
now.
Saquon.
Wait, why is she not coming on anymore?
Ew.
Because she has
Her,
her daughters that are going back to school.
Oh,
Oh fuck.
Like he's on the Ravens now, and I like him. That doesn't mean, you know. I'm just saying, most of these are football cards here, and most of them are not Eagles football players.
Okay, but Spongy, point is that I don't have an issue saying that I like somebody from another team. That just makes me less of a fan of the team that I actually root
my
for.
fault. The community that I'm in has a problem with it.
you tell him,
It's not my
Sponge.
fault.
You tell him.
Like I don't know why it's
yeah,
every
this
single
is why
thing.
Dawn can't join us anymore because the girls start school.
Mm-hmm. Let's
I will
hold
be
it.
honest, guys. If
Jim
you
Everett,
weren't, if
Jim
you weren't
Everett
watch-
is
sorry.
showing us how to showing Terror Dome how to look at his highlights on VHS.
I told you, I don't know why he puts that dumb VHS.
I don't know why you spent it on my chat the other day, Jim Everett. It doesn't even work. I'm sending you on the VHS.
If he saw you on Rudy's channel.
Well, he's going to the AFC North. Teddy Belcher.
You can't say that. We got movies in each DVD and Blu-ray.
You know, unless there's something going on we don't know about. But, yep, they can have them at this point.
Arcast, also, why do you have Eagles as your profile pic?
Oh my! I put YTC on the jersey. That's all. I forgot to change it.
Yeah, why you're obsessed with the Eagles and trying to put me on a jersey?
Yo, you guys need to start showing your faces. I'm feeling uncomfortable here. I don't know what.
All right,
you
let me
guys
do
are
this.
doing.
Hey, this is the best picture. Deebo Samuel putting James Bradbury in the trash.
This is my favorite. Stuff.
Oh,
Not you, Sponge. I know what you look like. You're the fucking goat. You don't have to.
Joe, don't you know how I look like?
Not on my channel. I have
don't
them.
remember what
That's
you
all you
guys
gotta
look
do.
like, honestly.
Dude, I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. Where you been?
Here's my favorite. Hang on, where is it?
It's the off season, so you know.
Here's my favorite photo. Spongy's favorite photo too.
No, I haven't. Yeah.
Hey guys,
nice
Darius Slayton cooking Darius Slay.
Hold on, guys. Let me talk for just 1 second. We all need to wish a happy birthday to a few guys whose birthday it is today.
Oh God, please don't start with this. Fuck, I already know whose birthday.
Well, first, this is the worst of both birthdays, but it is the birthday of the Giants' third string quarterback, I think, Tommy DeVito.
Your favorite quarterback, by the way.
Dude, he should be first string. That man's a legend. That's the only time in life.
Also, it is the birthday of an Eagles legend.
My God, please.
Javon Curse.
Steve Young, who's about
Pampered Tyrod Taylor.
Young. Hold on, let me freaking talk. Who's about to?
Hey, am I wrong? He's Pampered Tyrod Taylor.
Bro, can you let me speak?
Let him speak, dog.
Me?
I can't even get my fucking point across.
Sponge, go ahead.
No, because I already got interrupted. I can't even finish what I was going to say.
Eagles legend who?
He's talking about how Jalen Hurts is about to pass Steve Young for all-time rushing touchdowns, but
and it's also his birthday. But I got interrupted, so sorry. Yeah, it's his birthday. Whatever. I can't continue with the joke now.
Damn. Well, YTC muted, so I think you can talk now. So. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to speak.
Ooh, so Danny DeVito is a good quarterback, but a better actor. That's what it says.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Oh, I've read to say what's up to Chad. What's up, dude?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Yeah, what's up, Chad? So you're ready for your Steelers brother Genome Kid and your other Steelers brother Michael to pop on Friday?
Ooh. Camp will he win again?
Camp.
Oh shit!
Will he win again? Will he win again? Yeah.
Oh, I get it now. Chad Pterodon, that's a good one.
And this is true. It is hard to hear him.
So, Joe, which quarterback is doing well in training camp for your team?
Geno Smith.
Okay.
Nah, Sam Howell's
there's no competition.
All right, YTC, go ahead, troll me. You were right.
Sam Howell's gonna take the job.
Sam Howell. I told you Sam Howell wasn't all that. It's Washington.
I'm playing.
And if they ruin Jaden Daniels, I won't.
You guys, Sam Howell is closer to being a third-string quarterback than a starting quarterback.
You heard it first, YTC.
No, you should have heard it a couple of weeks ago. Damn. That's when it came out.
I told you.
I mean, if you look at the numbers, Geno Smith is actually not on a rookie contract, obviously. He's one of the most underpaid quarterbacks in the NFL. So,
well, there's a reason for that.
How much is Daniel Jones making?
Oh, wow.
$40 million a year, and that's why they're begging to get rid of him.
Damn,
I mean, there's a year dropped out for a reason.
How much is Purdy gonna be making?
Under $1 million.
No.
Under $1 million.
When he gets the second contract,
Close to it, though.
Be making? When he gets the second contract, how much is he going to be making? 55?
Yeah, probably 60.
Spongy, what are you saying, buddy?
Probably like 60.
Yeah,
that's. I'm thinking somewhere between 50 and 60.
And then you guys are going to
hopefully he takes a little bit of a discount because he wants to keep a good team around him. But we'll see what happens.
That's what they all say. That's what we said about Russ. It doesn't happen. I mean,
hey, Russ got paid. He's still getting paid by the Broncos.
By Denver, yeah. But no, I mean, how many players are you going to have to cut just to fucking keep Purdy making $60 million a year? You know.
And
well, we won't have to worry about that until 2026.
Yeah, no, but it's coming up closer than you think, right? Because if you don't win a Super Bowl this year, then there's only 1 year left. That Purdy's on a rookie contract, you know.
Well, I mean, we've got our quarterback for the next 15 years, to be honest. So we can actually.
You guys said the same thing about Kaepernick, right? But you didn't.
So I didn't say that. I never said the same thing about Kaepernick. I've never liked
that.
RPOs. So in
2012,
when he was rushing for 180 yards against the Packers in the playoffs, you were like, oh, you know what? No, he's probably going to be gone in 2 years. No, you weren't saying that.
No, I didn't say that either. You don't know me, Seahawk.
Show me your face. Show me your face.
No, I'm not going to show you my face, just like you're never going to see a second Super Bowl.
Oh.
Well, hey, it'll be when you guys win one, it'll be the first one in my lifetime, buddy.
God, you're that young and stupid? All right.
I think he's married. I think he's married.
Yeah, and I'm married.
Oh,
I'm married, and I still haven't seen the.
Get ready for your first divorce, then.
Yeah. Anyways,
and make sure you initiate it, because if she initiates it, you're screwed.
I'm probably screwed regardless. I hope she leaves me tonight. She'll take all my stuff, which isn't much, by the way.
She'll probably.
Anyways, I remember thinking Kaepernick was going to be an issue. I remember thinking Garoppolo was going to be an issue. I mean, seriously.
He was. The idiot tore his own ACL trying to cut back in.
Yep.
137 million. He thinks he's freaking.
Okay, but the difference is that Purdy has been nothing but solid for the Niners since he came here. And maybe he makes an astronomical amount of money, but I feel way more secure in paying Brock Purdy than I did in any of the other quarterbacks.
No, you're
Way past Alex Smith. And no offense, Geno Smith has worked out for the Seattle Seahawks, but I remember what he was like as a Jet and down as a Saint and a Buccaneer and all those other places.
No, he wasn't.
I feel much more secure in Purdy than I would have ever been in Geno Smith. So you can say what you want, but
Chargers.
It was the Jets and the Chargers. He was never with the Saints. I don't know where you got that at.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, the first couple of years of Kaepernick, I thought he was fucking awesome too. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, once again, Purdy's legs aren't going to fall out from underneath him because he doesn't rely on that, right? But once you're making $60 million, it's really hard to field a team around that person.
Even when your owner is a billionaire, or
it doesn't matter if your owner's a billionaire or not. They have a salary cap they're competing against.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you guys were probably saying that. Oh yeah, paying him $60 million or whatever was equivalent to $60 million for like a Colin Kaepernick. Y'all probably thought, oh yeah, this is gonna work out. This is gonna be a great contract. And you guys probably said the same about Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm sorry, if Brock Purdy doesn't pan out for you, you guys are done for. You guys aren't going to win another Super Bowl for another 80 years.
That's a lie.
In my grave when you guys win another Super Bowl.
I'm just saying that it hasn't exactly worked out well for the Eagles when they paid a quarterback because it was your backup quarterback, Nick Foles, that won it for you.
At least he won a Super Bowl, though. I mean, legit, like, he did. I mean, not many people have beat Brady in a Super Bowl, and he's won.
So they did.
Hold on.
They paid Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Too much money.
How much does he make? AAV?
52, somewhere around there. 50, 52.
52?
Somewhere around there. I think it's one of the two.
Dang.
I think these quarterbacks are making too much in general. I really do.
I don't think it's fair that these guys have like maybe one decent breakout year and then they get paid over $50 million. Like
Jordan Love had 18 starts and he still got paid somehow. 18 starts. And Trevor Lawrence has similar numbers to Daniel Jones is getting paid
it's not the same
more.
thing.
Real quick, I just want to respond.
Dude, Brock Purdy has done it for a season and a half at this point. He's about to enter his third season.
Yeah, but the difference is we're talking about guys who've been paid on their second contract, and Purdy hasn't gone to his second contract yet.
He will be pretty soon, though, is what I'm saying.
But it's quick how they paid Jordan Love quickly.
They were too quick on the trigger with Jordan Love. I mean, they might end up regretting that.
And Trevor Lawrence, he's over here making 55.
It's like, dude, Trevor Lawrence has comparable numbers to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
Daniel Jones is the man. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
He makes, and we're talking like there's like a $15 million difference in season there.
And a year two opt-out.
Can I respond to Melissa real quick? Who said something about Nick Foles and our quarterback situation?
I did.
Okay, so with that Super Bowl run, okay, this is what I don't like. The reason we made the Super Bowl was because of Carson Wentz. He had, and only his second year, he had an MVP season.
Yeah, he did.
He was the reason we won the games in the regular season, and I think he made. I don't think he maybe played one or two playoff games, but he was the reason we made the Super Bowl, and Nick Foles just finished the job.
Yeah, he did.
Did you also forget the Eagles' defense that year?
Yeah, and
they were also
hear that Carson Wentz didn't do anything in that to help win that Super Bowl, and that it was all Nick Foles because it wasn't all Nick Foles.
Okay, we were just talking about regretting paying a guy top dollar and them not winning a Super Bowl. That is why I brought up Nick Foles, because he wasn't the top guy and he wasn't paid top dollar money. for you, and yet he is the one that went and won the Eagles their only Super Bowl.
He played one game.
Spongy, he played the entire
He played the whole
playoffs for you
playoff
2
series.
years in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, and he finished off that year that got you into the playoffs.
Mhm.
I'm not saying Carson Wentz never did anything for your team prior to the 2019 season. I am saying that you brought up that the Niners will regret paying Purdy top dollar, and he won't win the Niners anything in your lifetime. And then I brought up that you, as an Eagle fan, are being kind of a hypocrite because what won you it was not your top paid quarterback.
I've seen my team win a Super Bowl. You haven't.
Sponge. Well, you kind of started this conversation, Sponge, and you did take a shot at my team. So
no, I was continuing the conversation that Joe was having.
Yeah, I started this.
So hold this, guys, because you guys aren't going to see another Super Bowl. Hold this.
I mean, then again, it took the Eagles like 50 years to win one.
okay.
A long one.
Anyways,
We horse shit to celebrate.
What?
I don't understand a fan base who eats horse shit to celebrate winning a Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
My fan base is delusional. I'm not the one doing that. Am I?
Okay, here's a question. Honestly, you guys, let's go around the panel. Would you eat a pile of horse shit to watch your team win the Super Bowl?
No.
No! I have morals.
No.
Okay,
No.
really? I'd fucking do it right now.
Ew, no.
There's something genuinely wrong with you. Then what the fuck you would do that shit?
No.
To watch the Seahawks have a great season and win the Super Bowl, yeah, I'd eat horse shit.
You would eat the shit. Oh my. Oh fuck.
Ew.
Joe, it depends how much. Depends how much.
Yeah. How much? Yeah, you.
Like,
Of course you would, Sponge.
Like a fucking salad plate full of horse shit. I'd eat
Hell,
it.
hell no.
You guys don't care that much?
Hey, at least he's honest. At least he's honest.
I totally would.
Yeah, honestly,
I personally wouldn't do it, but if my team's winning
You
the
would,
Super Bowl, my
Spongy.
team's
You're
winning a
desperate.
Super Bowl. No, I wouldn't. I don't want to hear about
If that guarantees me a Super Bowl win, and that's all I have to do?
Everybody always brings up to me because I'm an Eagles fan. Okay, that I have a EDP in my fan base, that I have the fans that.
you have a neo-Nazi in your fan base too.
Hold on.
I'm sure every fan base has one of those, dude.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you. That is what I have been saying for the past 2 months, and nobody has agreed with me. Thank you.
Ask the chat if they do it. I do it. No questions asked. I do it.
I will say this.
Bebop said, put it in a bowl with some milk.
I will say this. I have to disagree with you on only one thing. The Niners are not going to win. You know, like the comment said that we're not going to win a title in 80 years. I don't think it's going to take that long. I do think Kyle maybe one day will take a Super Bowl seriously and win it.
All right, no, whenever Kyle learns the overtime rules is when y'all will win a Super Bowl. And actually, I think that'll be another 80 years. I still don't think he understands the rules.
All right,
I thought that was overblown. I don't think it's a bad move to take the fucking ball in overtime. I don't think that was.
I agree with you. Like, it was overblown. Like, the people overblew it. But as a coach, knowing that you need a touchdown to win, like you cannot settle for a field goal. So I think that's more like people were criticizing. But yeah, I think it was like way thrown out of proportion. So, yeah.
The moment we
I thought people would know by now. Never to give Patrick Mahomes the ball at the final minute.
But
it was almost set up like a Disney movie.
A lot of the things that happen that the Eagles do, it also gets blown out of proportion. You guys just got to deal with it.
Also, CMC didn't fucking fumble on that first drive. We would have fucking scored and been in possession of whatever.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. Your best player fumbled, but the year before that, you guys were going at us for our best player fumbling. So, yeah, karma. Take it.
You tell him,
Hold
Sponge.
this as well.
First of all, I was there, and it was YTC in this instance. It was not me, and it wasn't anyone on this panel.
I never said it was you, John. I never said it was you.
Damn.
Don't think I said it was you.
Right now, where are you, Sponge?
Bottom.
You're on my channel, right? Okay.
Oh.
That's cool.
And I'm just stating the obvious. So if y'all got a problem, y'all got a problem.
Spongy, don't make us get the belt.
I'm bringing this up. Jesus. Like, this is the second time in like 2 months that somebody has said that to me. I don't think it's funny.
Okay. I see you.
Why can't he shut up? No, you don't think this is funny. It's not. Genuinely not.
No one's laughing. I know one
Guys,
person.
don't take it too seriously. It's kind of fun.
Yep. Well, have we got any real football talk to talk about here?
Nope. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, 3 yards in the cloud.
I don't think we do.
3 yards in the cloud.
David, I have to ask a question for all the Niner fans here.
But you're trying to.
Yeah, Carcass.
Well, she is.
Go for it.
Who do you think has a chance to play first for the Niners, Mustafa or Renardo Green? Because both have been showing out at camp.
Mustafa.
Renardo.
Yeah.
I honestly, when it comes to playing
Actually, not
first,
Mustafa. No, Renardo Green, I mean. Fuck.
I'm gonna say Renardo Green
Yeah, I'm going to say Renardo
at this
Green.
point because he's a corner.
Yeah.
You know, we have Hufanga and Jair Brown in front of Mustafa right now.
I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
We'll see how Hufanga
Although
comes back.
Yadam has been making quite the showing, so it might be like, it might do the same. We might be doing the same thing we did last year, with Ambry Thomas. Might be, starting Lenore and Ward, and then swing Lenore inside and bring Yadam in to play outside when we need nickel. Which Lenore proved he can do that. So.
Oh, Isaac Yadam. Yeah.
I just love seeing Demo get some nice praise from all the different fans and people covering camp right now.
Fucking George Odom, man.
It feels like when he came out in his rookie year, everyone kind of like threw him away for Ambry Thomas, and now the Hyena's getting a lot of respect ever since he went and body slammed Spongy's running back. So
why do we have to bring this up every time?
It was a good hit,
funny.
Spongy.
And Joe, real quick. By the way, at least one of your defensive players didn't get in a fight with the Eagles security guard. So you should be fine.
I'm not gonna lie.
that's because he wasn't even allowed to be at the Seattle sideline there, Spongy, because he was suspended.
I'm
I'm not saying that.
I don't know if you guys remember the Seahawks versus 49ers game. When DK body slammed Fred Warner, it was basically the same thing as Greenlaw body slamming the Eagles player, but the 49ers fans were only mad about one of them.
What year was that?
I was mad at what Fred Warner did last year because Fred Warner called Lenore for protecting Fred Warner against DK. So technically, I wasn't happy about that.
Damn, didn't Jair Brown and Fred Warner have an interception on DK in that same game?
Well, no, it would have been Drew Lock who threw the interception, or Gino, depending on which game it was.
It was the second one. It was Drew Lock and Fred Warner and DK got into a fight. Lenore came in and broke it up, got ejected, and then Fred Warner went right to his presser and threw a hissy fit and said that Lenore had no right to get involved. Called him out for his behavior, and I called that out ever since because I think Fred Warner is a little bitch.
Honestly, I think DK should have been ejected, but I think Fred Warner should have been ejected too.
Yeah, I
So-
was watching that
Those
game,
were
and I
those
think
were the two that were in the fight. I mean, Warner shoved his helmet down onto the ground after DK body slammed either Greenlaw or Warner. I don't remember. It was one of the two.
Well,
No,
was Fred.
Warner pitched it to Greenlaw, and then yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
then DK slammed him on the ground, and then Warner pushed DK's helmet down onto the ground. So it should have been DK and Warner that were ejected. It shouldn't have been Lenore.
and they always get the guy who does the thing last because it happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And someone posted, I think it was a fan who posted it on Instagram. They caught and basically Warner instigated it, but just like always, Metcalf was the guy who got caught at the end. So it's always great when you get to see the full video.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe, and I know I always bring this up to you when I get the chance, but in that Seattle Seahawks game last year, versus I know a lot of things happened in that game. I don't want to bring up half
The Eagles game?
Yeah.
What?
When AJ, I think it was AJ Brown on the sideline who got was he technically a coach? I think he was technically a coach. He stepped right in front of him, in front of AJ Brown on the side. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not gonna lie, Sponge. I took my mom to that game, and me and my mom went to the bar before the game, and that was towards the end of the season where the Seahawks were not playing at the level they were supposed to. I got
mad at that, and nobody else really did. But AJ got flack for that and I just, especially it was the week after the whole Greenlaw situation happened, and fines were associated, and I was just mad about that, and I still kind of am because he still got physical with our player. I know it wasn't the same amount of contact as DeSandro had, but it's still contact. And if I want, since we keep bringing up the Dom DeSandro thing, let's get into it a little bit more in depth.
No, one sec, guys. I gotta leave, but I just want to say I hope you all have a great night.
Yep.
I did want to ask
Joe.
before I left: has anybody heard from
All right, Joe.
Corona lately? Is Corona still coming on here?
He's doing fine.
So Corona,
I saw him earlier.
Corona just had,
My bad.
he had back surgery last week.
Okay.
He went home from the hospital on Monday, and he's in recovery. He's going to be in recovery for months.
Oh,
But
wow.
he's doing okay, buddy. So.
And then Brian's working at USPS. And then how about what's his name?
Ryan? Never mind.
No, what? Who used to always be on the show too? He started his own
Ryan
thing.
Culp.
No, I was talking about Brian.
He started
Korey?
his own what?
He started
Korey?
his own thing.
Nathan Zittel used to show up.
Oh yeah, where's Nathan Z been?
I haven't seen him since
I've seen him
the Super Bowl.
I've seen him post on his Instagram story a few times.
Maybe I'll message him on Instagram.
Him and
Who
All
else?
right, so
construction.
I'll have to message him there.
Who
to
else
see-
used
see
to?
how
Who
he's
else used
doing.
to be on those shows?
John LaJoy. That's what I was asking about. Is he still popping?
I don't know.
Something happened, and I don't think he's actually making videos anymore. And I'm not aware of what actually happened.
He still
I didn't
is.
see it.
He still is.
Didn't
Wasn't-
LaJoy come on here and he said he needed to take a step back from YouTube and kind of decompress?
I can say that's not what happened.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to really hear the drama. I'm just making sure everybody's doing good.
Yeah, the Jeff, that 49er
Jeff.
minor. Yeah,
You talking about Jeff?
49er. Jeff.
the rapper,
rapper?
the rapper. Yeah.
I think he's
Wonder
still
whatever happened to
around.
that
I
guy.
I occasionally get a message on Facebook.
Yeah,
from
what
him,
happened to Jeff?
But that's about it. He just stopped
seen that
coming
guy in a
around
long
for
time.
whatever reason.
Video.
And then one more. Beto. Is he still doing his thing?
He
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He's
an
got
hour
shows.
ago or two.
He's got shows. Yeah.
All right. Sick.
Beto
Well,
was just on the Forever Faithful podcast cross panel.
well, shout out to all you guys who have been on here. Also, if you guys talk to them, tell them I said hi because I haven't
All right.
been back for a while. So you
All
guys
right,
have a
Joe.
good night. All right. Nice talking to you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Okay, and now I want to get in depth in that situation.
What are we even talking about?
The Dre Greenlaw and
Oh
Don
my
Pedro
god.
little
That's been over like months. That was over months ago. That's over. That's down the river.
But,
That's gone.
Yeah, stop bringing. Yeah,
we keep
bringing up shit
talking
like an
about it.
ex-girlfriend or something.
They
No, but it's not just me who keeps talking about it. You guys bring it up too. So
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Have we? I don't think we've
We're-
brought
we're-
that
we're
up
living
at all
rent-free.
tonight.
Sentinel, maybe you don't.
How a
Maybe you
security guard for the coach decided to put his hands on an NFL player.
That's not what happened.
That's kind of.
But okay, let's continue on. What's the next topic? What, Brandon Ayiuk and how he doesn't want to be on your trashy organization no more?
Oh my god. Spongy.
So, folks, I think on that note, no BA has
Thank
not
God.
been traded yet. We'll see what happens. And yes, Bebop, this is true. This is true. Yes, that was the score of the game.
He's just still salty about the ass whooping we gave him.
But
Mom.
so everybody have a fantastic night. We're out of here. As Corey
Good night,
Davis
everybody.
would say, go Niners and F all 31 other teams.